Jumping out of planes, swimming with sharks, whatever I can do, I try to just do it.
Exploring caves in Kentucky.
Exactly. And that's the great thing about motorcycling is it takes me to places like that. Like yesterday I was on a fire road. I mean, we had to break some laws to get on it, but it was cool to be able to explore and go off the path, and then you really get to like do some crazy stuff. Yeah.
All right. So what happened with this burn? You were showing us some of your wounds. What exactly went down?
Just happened actually last night. We went up to GMR, which is this big mountain road near San Bernardino. And we were riding fire roads, and it's for this art show that's coming up. So we were trying to get artsy with the pictures, So we're like, let's do topless, long hair, and like whatever. So I'm no gear, and I'm on one of Roland's race bikes, Roland Sands. So it's already set up funky, recluse clutch I normally don't do. And we're on this fire road, and it's this cliff. So it's like, let's do a slide in, sunset shot, cliff. And so I was just thinking, let's don't slide off the side of the cliff, and did it fine, did it again fine, and then went to go one more time and went to stop, but there was like a little rut, and I went to put my foot down and obviously couldn't. And I started to lay the bike over, and the photographer, Preston, thought he was saving me, and he went to grab me, but he clotheslined my legs and flipped me up in the air, and then I landed down onto the exhaust and got a pretty gnarly burn. I'll show you. It's like
nice.
I know.
And then I've had burns before. Not fun.
No, not there. I don't know how.
Not there, but yeah.
Yeah, no one gets it on the. Yeah, I put it on my Instagram story, and people were like, "How high was that exhaust pipe?" No one could figure it out.
What's up with that? Oh my gosh.
Then we're loading the bike up later, and go to put it up, and it kicks the ramp off, and so he went to go save it, but elbowed me in the nose instead.
Oh, nice.
So I got
that's
that
what you got, a little shiner right there.
Yeah, got that one too. And I wasn't even doing anything gnarly.
So you got kind of beat up, it sounds like.
Yeah, but it was a good road. It was fun.
Well, at least you got to pull the positive out of it, right?
Yeah. Silver lining always, for
always.
sure. Yeah.
Well, cheers to that.
Cheers.
Sorry that you got all banged up, but
it's a part of it.
It's part of the game, isn't
it? So did that, came back down, and it's Coachella this weekend. I've never been. Have you been?
No, I haven't actually.
No,
I haven't really done much in my life besides riding dirt bikes and maybe cleaning cooling towers and stuff like that, but not honestly, no cultural stuff like that. I'd love to.
Yeah.
Stagecoach or whatever, at least once in my life. I've never even been to a concert, so.
Yeah, I've never been to Coachella, so it's crazy festival. I don't really.
I hear it's nuts.
I don't really wear flowy dresses, so I'm like, what do I wear to this thing? And we're doing motorcycle stuff, so I'm riding out there. I'm riding with a couple people, and they're doing this little Vestal village out there, and Lords of Gastown are going to be there, and so I don't know what to expect. I'm just going along with the flow. I just get to ride there. It sounds pretty cool. I'm glad that they're involving motorcycles in this type of thing.
Yeah, how's that work exactly? Is it because it's a music festival, so how does that really tie in? You know what I mean? I
don't know. I mean,
are you just going to have a show out there? You're going to have some guys like Lance Corey doing some cool shit on the bikes, wheelies?
That'd be rad.
Right?
He's got to teach me how to do wheelies.
That guy's nuts. He's crazy.
I know.
I've watched him do his thing on the dirt bike, and it seems like he's transferred out of the whole freestyle thing. I'm not too sure what he's doing now, but.
Yeah, no, I do some stuff with Harley with him, and they always have him do wheelies and stuff on the hooligan bikes, which is one thing. I can do it on mini bikes,
right?
Yeah. Just racing those things are pretty crazy. They're super heavy, and then getting them set up just to be able to do, to race is another thing. Not all of them. I got a 750 and a Sportster, and the 750 took a while to get it dialed in properly just to be able to race on dirt and then concrete, because they do that now. And now we're going to throw in an asphalt. I think there's a race that's asphalt, which will be no syrup. I don't know how that's going to handle.
So it's straight asphalt?
Yeah, but on a hooligan bike. So I don't know I've never done that, so I don't know what the process is for it. I'll just wing that one too. Yeah. So
you're just going to go for it?
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
That's part of the game, right?
Yeah. The gnarliest one was the AMA, the pro guys, what they ride on, and then do it on those big bikes is just.
It's not. How much do those bikes weigh?
Mine was about 450, but I took about 80 pounds off of it, I'd say. Yeah.
So like 470, whatever, something like that.
300,
almost
like
500 pounds?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. And I'm Yeah, I need to work out a little bit more.
Gain some lbs, right?
Yeah.
Get some big lats and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
No, stick with what you got going on. I think it's good.
Yeah.
Looks cooler.
Thanks. All right, I'll do that. I'll try. I'll just tone up a little core. I don't know. Work on my flips, like when I get clothesline the next time, so I can land properly.
Right? Oh man, that's so crazy.
Yeah, but it's fun. I mean, I love it. The first time I never flat tracked. The first time I did it was out at Paris, so like almost 2 years ago, and I was addicted. I never done no point of reference, like as far as that.
You've never done it before at all?
No, nothing. And Roland was telling me, he's like, oh, if you see the wall, just turn left. I was like, all right, thanks.
If you see the wall, so like if you're heading towards the wall? Okay.
Yeah, and I went out with all the guys, like there was like a pro day. So I went out and just jumped right in, and then I just wouldn't get off the track. And I did it until they turned the lights off and they made me get off the track.
Really?
And I pushed it so hard that I actually crashed at the very end. Got a labrum tear. I didn't even know it. Still rode for 10 more solid days after that.
You have to get operated on eventually, or was it not?
I do still. I need it. I haven't done it because I didn't have time.
Put it off, yeah.
And I just started. I did that, and then the whole time home, I was like looking up, where can I train? Where can I train? I live next to Johnny Lewis. Do you know who that guy is?
I don't. But wait, Johnny Lewis, number 10
flat
tracker?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how.
He's an hour from my house, which is like a blessing in disguise.
Okay.
He's got a sick track, so I'll go up there and ride with him.
And he knows how to do it, so perfect guy to teach, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing ever since, and just got some bikes. And
so that's in Florida? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, in Ocala.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got a good resource right there. I mean, California is great for moto, but Florida is too. I mean, we got all the pro guys that
absolutely.
live there.
With Georgia, I mean,
yeah,
it's definitely turning into a hub for sure.
Yeah.
So taking me back to how did you start getting into motocross? How'd that all kind of come about?
I think growing up in Kentucky, and just, my dad built bikes in the living room of our house. I grew up literally around motorcycles. And that's just kind of what he did for a living. And I don't know why he did it in the living room of our house. I think he just, I don't know, maybe we're just, I have no idea. But that's what my baby pictures are.
That's cool, no way. So that's where you would get down and dirty, huh?
Yeah, and there's like footage of me, old movie footage of like when I just am setting up and I'm literally sitting there helping my dad put together a carburetor. I'm not helping, I'm just handing him shit he doesn't need.
Maybe taking some stuff apart or whatever, yeah.
Just sticking wrenches in my mouth, because I'm like a baby. And so just grew up, and my dad just put me on a bike as soon as I could. He thought I was ready, and training wheels on it so I could ride it. I don't think I rode a bicycle until later. And then
how old were you when you?
4.
So
and
wow,
then
you were young.
Yeah, and then we had a farm, 450 acres, and so we had all like dirt bikes, 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers, and we just ripped around that.
Holy shit, 450 acres. That's a healthy property.
Yeah, it was a farm with that's how I got to go take care of the cows and
no doubt,
live a
chickens and pigs and the whole program, really.
Yeah. So then I had a sister and I had a cousin, so we would just dare each other to do stupid stuff. And I don't know how we're alive actually on some of the stuff
you guys got into.
Yeah, because you're back there in the woods and you're doing crazy things, and we'd always crash, especially on a 3-wheeler. I flipped it on top of me. I've been ran over so many times on that thing.
I bet.
Yeah, and then so I started that, and I loved it, did it, and then I modeled when I was 13 for years. I still do it occasionally, and I always said modeling killed my riding career and riding killed my modeling career, because no one would ever take me serious as riding because I modeled, and then every time I modeled they hated that I'd ride, because I one time shot for Maxim magazine and I showed up, I forgot where I was at, but I went out Glen Helen, I rode and I crashed and I was
you wiped some shit out.
Yeah.
Whoopsies.
And they're like, what are we supposed to do with this? I'm like bruised and I'm trying to shoot in swimwear. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know, let's just play it up. And so it was.
They got over it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, there's Photoshop if they want to get rid of the scratches, right?
Yeah, you can do that. And then, but I kind of liked it. I thought this made it more real,
For sure.
And so I just always did it. And then I got out of it. I took a break for 4 years because my dad passed away, and I thought maybe that was just, I don't know, I had this moment. I was like, I need to grow up and get a real job and do some stuff. And thought it would be too painful. I moved to New York and became the director of PR and marketing for 2 Fortune 500 companies.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
wow.
I was like a big girl growing up.
That's a big change.
Yeah. And then I came back and I went to a Supercross race. I have a son, and I bought him his first bike when he was 4. And so I took him to a Supercross race, and I was like, God, what am I doing? I need to be back into this. And went and bought a bike that next weekend and sold my car, and I took off. I didn't even own a car, and took my son to school every day on my bike, picked him up on my bike.
So were you living in New York at that time?
No, I moved right back. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. So back to Florida. You can't, bikes in New York, that's crazy.
It doesn't work out, huh?
No, yeah. And it wasn't as fun, you know? So I came back and, I just started doing it. And ever since I was like, I'm going to figure out a way to just do this wide open, make a living at it.
So that was obviously pretty tough. You and your dad were probably really, really close, I assume, throughout your life. So having to say goodbye to him. Do you want to get into that at all? What exactly happened to your dad?
Yeah, it was just unexpected. I actually was going, at that time I was traveling with, I used to do a wrestling show on television. And
you would wrestle, or you would
I was
host
a backstage interviewer, but so it's like scripted wrestling, like WWE. And they would throw me through the wall. I had to have wrestling training, so it was part of the script. So I'd be thrown through the wall or black hole slammed or any of run the ropes. And so I did that. I was traveling with that, motocross, supercross, GNCC, and some superbike stuff. And I was on the road every weekend. And I just was like, I need a break. And I was going to go back home to Kentucky for 3 months. I was set to leave. I packed up, and it was the night before, and I called my mom and dad to tell them everything was good, and someone else answered the phone and told me that my dad had an accident. He was a truck driver, and he had a heart attack while he was driving. So it was really unexpected.
Really sudden, yeah.
Yeah, and I flew home, and then I moved home for 8 months, took care of my mom, and got things settled, and then that's when I moved to New York right after that. And I rode his bike to the funeral, and then I parked and I never rode for 4 years after that. I just didn't think that it was right. I just wasn't ready. Mm-hmm. And then I realized when I got back on a bike that I felt closer to him than I did before. Like it's like the reason why I'm so addicted to it. I always was, but now I have to have it. Like, I fiend for riding a motorcycle because it's the way I keep my dad alive, and it's the way I connect to him.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thanks. Yeah.
Cheers to your dad.
Cheers to my dad. His name was Smiley, actually. That's the tattoo.
Way.
Yeah, on my throttle hand. So his nickname. So yeah, that's.
Well, Smiley's he's watching us right now, and he's stoked. So that's cool.
For sure.
All right. So I overheard you talking about you had cancer.
Oh,
which is pretty heavy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you want to get into that, but what exactly happened? How did you find that out? And
just randomly, actually, just being up on my checkups, and I was actually riding, and I found out the day before I rode to Sturgis. So I rode and raced, and so I was supposed to have surgery. No, it was right before Lost Highway, and so I found out then. And then went back, had a minor little surgery. Last year, when was Lost Highway? July?
So 2016?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then had a little surgery and left the next day and went to, flew to California and rode the next day to Sturgis, rode that whole way. I didn't really tell anyone because I just don't like making stuff like that public. I don't like pity, and I don't like... I don't know.
You're a silent sufferer.
Yeah, right. And I don't like pity, and I also don't want to be like, I did this and I did this. It just sounds so cocky. So I was like, I'll just deal with this, and we'll figure it out if it works or not.
Keep it on the DL.
Right.
Yeah.
Rode Sturgis, raced Sturgis, rode many more miles after that, and they're like, well, it didn't work, so you have to have a hysterectomy, and I.
That's gnarly.
Yeah, and I was like, can we put this off because I have one more race? And then I have...
You're like, seriously?
And then I have an event, and then after that, I was good. So I right before it happened, though, I got this crazy abscess tooth in the middle of nowhere, Montana.
Abscess tooth?
Yeah, that put me in the hospital that I almost died from. It went into my bloodstream. So I'm dealing with that. I was on bed rest for a month, had surgery the day before Christmas. was on bed rest again for 6 more weeks.
This is only a few months ago.
Yeah, I got the release to actually do stuff, like to lift things heavier than 10 pounds, February 3rd, went and raced a few days later in Portland, hit a wall, because these bikes are really heavy and I was super weak. I mean, when you're in bed rest and then you are on all these antibiotics, that 2,700 milligrams of antibiotics a day, it killed all the good and bad in my body. So I just, lifting 5-pound weights was really hard for me. Sounds crazy, but it was. But
so riding a 500-pound motorcycle wasn't ideal.
Yeah, it wasn't.
That's
and it's the
sketch.
Pickle
Wow.
Tracker, which is apparently
What's that?
it's Roland Sands Sportster build, like hooligan bike, and it's apparently a lot of people crash it when they ride it. It's cursed. And everyone warned me. They're like, "You're riding the Pickle?" I'm like, "Yeah." And
you're like, "Yep,
I am."
Pickle it is.
Pickle it was. And,
oh man.
Yeah. So I did, but you know what? I think it's a good thing. And
were you okay? I mean, so what happened? You hit the wall?
I hit the wall. I did great. I rode at practice, did fine. Then it started doing some weird stuff right before the start. It's a recluse clutch. I'm just not used to that. Nothing
Still
wrong
that
with
same
it.
old automatic thing that you're not too
I just
keen
like
on,
the engine brake, drag my brake, and that's just my style. And it started sputtering out. Pulled the whole shot, led a lap.
Shit.
Yeah, it started sputtering out, so I just kind of gave it gas, and it was just going way too fast in a turn. I thought I could get it. And
so you're trying to lay it down, and then
I'm trying to just push it as much as I could, and I was like, I'm gonna hit the wall, but I got fixated like that. I know I looked at that wall. I mean, I think so. I can't remember. I hit it, clipped it with my bars, went up, hit the wall, hit a pole, landed unconscious.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and
knocked out cold, huh?
Yeah, cold. I just got all my gear too, and they cut it all off of me, and
holy shit, no doubt.
yeah, I went to the hospital because they were asking me questions I couldn't remember. And I knew that I couldn't remember, so I said that. I was like, I'm definitely having memory loss, and they took me. So
wow,
that was fine. It was really cool. All the people rallied afterwards and kept
you were
me
fine.
awake.
That's hilarious.
I went to the track.
You're a motocrosser, or you're a motorcycle person.
Yeah,
that's just the mentality.
Yeah,
oh, I'm fine.
I went to the track
really
right
not.
afterward. I was trying to tell him like, I'm good. Like, let me just stay.
Yeah, of course.
Then got checked out, made it back to the track, and then everybody kept me, we just all hung out afterwards and had a good time, and went and raced 4 days later.
Oh my gosh.
Well, not raced, it was a flat out Friday for Harley up in Milwaukee, and so we had 5 hours of practice time on the track before, and I had to announce for them the next day, but I got to ride out with all the guys, so.
Okay.
I was just a little more cautious.
So how is it, I want to talk to you about that, with all the masculinity around you in those races and stuff. Are the guys welcoming to you? Are they pretty cool, or?
Super cool. I mean, that's the thing. At first I was a little intimidated. If you don't really know people and it's just guys and they've been doing this forever, it is a little intimidating at first, but I've always loved being around people that intimidate me because it pushes me to go more. But they were just really welcoming, and building my bike, so much help.
So immediately you clicked with all these dudes, and it was like, okay, they're
some of them
family.
I've known forever, and then some of them I just met, and we kind of look out for each other. We're just a family. We're all in group chat. We talk all the time. When I was building my bike, a lot of us have 750s, and it's a bike that's not easy to convert into a flat track because, you have to, I had to cut the back end off, shave out the swing arm to make a tire, the 19s fit, and then do R6 front end, chain conversion, multi-strata, just all this whole thing. And that's hard for me. I'm not a bike builder. And I definitely had a lot of help with that. But also talking to the guys that had done it before.
Can you spin some wrenches?
I can.
You can?
Yeah, I can do some stuff.
That's cool.
I got to. My dad wouldn't let me drive a car. He got me my first car and he wouldn't let me drive it until I basically disassembled it and put it back together. Because he was like, you're not going to be on the side of the road relying on a dude to fix it.
Fix your shit, huh?
Oh, he was anti that. And then,
wow.
Yeah.
So he instilled that in you at a young age.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself and learn how to do some stuff, yeah.
Yeah, got to.
Most girls may not, really get kind of pushed into doing that. Or it's more like, no, Dad will take care of it for you. He was more like, hey, come out in the garage with me and let me show you what's up.
Yeah, and I don't think it was
cool.
necessarily, it was some because I was female, but also because that's just the country way of life, making do with what you got and figuring it out, and you got to, and, or you're just going to be stuck on the side of the road forever. And
or until AAA gets there.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot they got stuff like that.
Yeah, they do have stuff like that for guys like me. No, I'm just kidding. I could do a couple things. I'm no Ricky Diaz, but I can work on some shit. Have you ever heard of the lady Betty? What's her name? She's a comedian. She's fucking hilarious. Anyway, she had this
old
joke
lady,
once.
Betty
Yes,
White.
Betty White. Thank you. Okay, she had this joke once. I don't really know it that great, so I'm not gonna try to do it like verbatim. But
No, do it.
basically, all right. So you know how everyone says like, you got big balls, you know? That means you're gnarly.
Yeah.
Basically, what she said is, first of all, pussies are way gnarlier than balls because they take way more of a pounding. And when you really think about that, she is so fucking right.
She's right.
So like when someone, because I've been called a pussy before.
Right.
And I took offense to it.
Now
If someone were to call me a pussy now,
Yeah.
I think I would feel empowered. I'd be like, I am a pussy. Damn straight.
Damn straight. Cheers to being a feminist. Congrats.
Yes. Hey, there's nothing tougher. Literally, though.
Right? I've been trying to tell people that forever. Like,
so
listen
true.
to me. You guys have no clue.
It's so true.
Yeah. No, I take a little bit I mean, people are always like, oh, what's it like being a female doing this or traveling alone? And I never really noticed it until like last year when I was 4 months on the road solid. And then some people were like, you're doing that by yourself? But you're so little, or you're so feminine. And as if I'm not feminine because I ride a motorcycle. And I think that you can do both, you know what I mean? There's no reason why I can't be just as tough, but still be girly and do my hair and makeup. And
be beautiful and yep.
Yeah, changing views all the time, you know?
For sure.
Yeah. The guys have been great. That's the best part about it, I think, is the camaraderie between all of us is
For sure.
that, you know, just I became a part of this family and now I always have one. And whether I decide to race more or whatever, I always ride. But if I don't, you know, do the hooligan series again professionally, I might always jump on a bike. But
that's cool.
Yeah.
So you have lifelong friends, basically, that you've established. That's cool.
Yeah, because you understand each other. You're all in the same thing. You know what it takes. You know the risk involved. And that's motorcycling in whole. That's why we, like, see a rider on the side of the road, we just help them because we've been there. We've been that rider on the side of the road.
We've all been there, yeah.
Yeah. Or just, you know, fixing your bike or trying to get parts or gear or whatever, you know, we just know what it takes. It's not an inexpensive hobby. It's, you know, at all. And it's not really a hobby, to be honest. If you just
it's like a lifestyle, right?
Yeah, if you choose to do this, I mean, you're in it, you know. Everything's an adventure from then on out. Even if you ride street, going to the mailbox or going to the grocery store, it's like an adventure. It's not traveling in a car, you're riding a bike, there's an adventure, you know?
Definitely.
I always use the metaphor of when you're in a car, it's like being in a movie, or being at a movie. You get to see this, the windshield is a screen, you watch it, but when you're on a bike, you're inside the movie. It's visceral, like all the senses are heightened at the same time, and there's nothing else like it. I once applied for a job to be like an office job, and the guy looked at me and he's like, I gotta be honest, I would love to hire you, but I think you would probably commit suicide in 3 months. And I was like, really? I'm that apparent? And like come off like
too
I'm
lively.
that transparent? Yeah.
You need to be like, hi, it's okay. It's a good day today.
Instead, when I worked in New York, I worked for Mark Echo, and our office was 6 stories, and it was the biggest office in the city. And I had a pit bike that I rode around in the elevator and rode around my office.
No, you did.
Swear. And I had a
That's so
full
cool.
basketball court. It was the raddest office ever. And that's my idea of corporate, you know, and I think that's what it should be.
Yeah.
It's not
for
too
sure.
serious.
So you've worked for Echo, and was that one of the Fortune 500 companies, or what?
He was back in the day, but
He's fallen off now.
oh yeah, he's fallen. And then Trump, believe it or not.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
No doubt, really.
Yeah,
Well, since you brought up Donald Trump, did you vote for Donald?
You can't ask me that. I don't get
Why
political.
All right, no political
No
alliance
politics here. I just ride motorcycles.
I had to ask.
I know. I was a director of PR and marketing, so it was fun. But my
Was he
desk was
pretty
literally
cool?
right beside him. He was nice. Yeah.
Because I've heard, you know, I've looked up on the guy and done some research, and
Yeah.
I've seen some behind the scenes stuff where people say he's actually not that bad of a guy. You know, you'd think he's a sexist bastard, but he's actually not.
He's great at marketing, and that was what my gig was, and so we vibed out pretty well on that. His From the Desk of Trump, his YouTube channel, started that, and
No way.
yeah, I worked with him on stuff like that. It was fun, just not
You probably
as
got some
creative.
stories deep down though you can't share, huh?
Yeah, it's coming out in a book one day. Buy
All right,
it.
in the book.
You know, release date. But yeah, it wasn't my life, you know, it's just super New York, a lot of powerful people, which is intimidating to me. I'm from a small town in Kentucky. You take me to a big city, I'm like, what is this, you know?
All that ego and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, so I had to get out of there pretty quick and get back. When I actually moved back to Florida, that was the other thing I did before I went right back to motorcycles was flew water jetpack. So I would travel the world and teach people. I work for the only company.
Water jetpack, what is that?
It's a water jetpack. I fly 30 feet in the air.
Oh, a jetpack. Like
30 feet below water and 30 miles an hour.
Holy shit.
It's like
How is that?
It's crazy. It's a $100,000 unit. So it's
You've
like
done
very
everything.
wealthy people that buy it.
Wait, 100 what?
100 grand. So it's like the fifth richest person in the world, largest private yacht owner, this guy Roman Abramovich. I would go to Russia, teach him how to fly, go to Aruba.
How did you learn how to fly a jetpack?
I don't know. So the guy that owned Echo, the partner, Seth Gershberg, was like, hey, you want to go down and run this company for me? And you like riding motorcycles every day. Maybe you'll be good at this. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And so I went down and just flew a jetpack, and I hate water, so that's why I was really good at it. Because I was like, I was scared to death. First of all, it's Florida. There's gators down there. I'm like, I'm not. I learned how to take off and land outside of the water, like on a dock or on the boat that tethers behind it. Because I was like, I'm not getting into that stuff.
No.
So
was it controllable?
It is. It's 62 psi, so you can put your hand in it. It won't rip your skin off. It's
oh, that's good.
It's just volume. It's 1,000 gallons. Like per second. It's like tons of water.
Holy
and
shit.
So it's not spring loaded like throttle, so it's like just a little bit makes you go, and then you just steer it that way. And I mean on career day,
it uses water?
Yeah, it's just water. It sucks it up through like a fire hose.
Oh, so that's the big thing that you see. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
I always wondered what the hell
boat.
that was. Okay.
It's a jet ski boat that's the motor's turned around, so it sucks it up. So that was the gnarly part. You're up there and you suck in a fish.
Oh,
and then you're
like,
fucked. Drop down.
So you drop into the water then, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How high up are you when you're doing
30
that?
feet, which is really high. If you think about it, I don't know what's 30. I don't know.
30 feet's 3 stories. That's death fall, basically. I mean, if you land on your head, it's like landing on concrete.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Safety first. I wore a helmet every now and then.
Safety first, yeah. No training, just rolled with it.
Yeah.
All right.
So I train other people.
So you practiced that, and then you started training people.
Yeah. Went around and trained people how to fly, and then went from that and then motorcycle. Just anything I can do. You know what I mean? Just anything I can get my hands on and just try it. You only live once. I know that's so cliche to say, but it's so true. You know, why would you never know when you're going to have this opportunity again, and most of the time you never will, so you just got to take advantage of it and make the most of it. Really fast, I do want to say this. That's how I got my Harley. So I won a football challenge at Trump. Like, I don't even.
This is how you got into Harleys?
No, this is how I bought my bike. And I've always been into Harleys, but I won a football challenge. I hate football. And they were like, oh, it's a pool or whatever. So I put my name in some stuff. I won a very limited edition Chanel purse. I was like, Jesus, it's like a motorcycle around my shoulder. So I sold it and bought my bike.
No way.
Swear
How much
to
did
God.
you get for it?
$4,000.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't cover the
$4,000.
whole price of the bike, but it put down a good chunk of it.
Hey, a little bit of it at least.
I was like, who does it? Who can wear
$4,000?
That's how I judge everything in life. I'm like, when I was sick and I had surgery and they gave me all these prescription pills, they were like sitting by my bedside. And I'm like, that's a freaking motorcycle.
That's like $10,000 right there.
Yeah. So I sold them and bought another bike.
You bought another bike. Yeah.
I will always buy motorcycles.
That's so funny.
I can't justify having things because I could have something that could take me places, you know, like these.
That you can interact with and enjoy, yeah.
Exactly.
So where do you see your life going now? I mean, how old are you? You look like you're 25, maybe.
We're never supposed to ask a lady how old she is.
I know, but
I love it. No,
where are you at? Okay,
I'm old
instead
as
of
dirt.
that.
That's the thing. But I'll tell you what. I do love that. All right, I flat track race. I'm 38. You know.
You're 38.
38 years
That's
old.
awesome.
It's insane, and I think that that's cool. And I'm not. Cool. I'm proud of it. I never hide my age, and I always talk about it. I don't care because, you know, it just proves it doesn't matter. Age is kind of a number, and you can do whatever you want whenever you want. It's never too late or never too early. You just got to do it if you feel it's right.
All right.
So, yeah.
Where do you see your life going now that you're kind of, I mean, it's kind of just turning into this something really cool and different and adventurous. You're almost 40.
Yeah.
That's
keep bringing
fucking
it up.
awesome. Like I know, keep bringing it up, fucker. I don't mean to do it that way, all right?
I'm kidding. I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I mean, I still have so much life left, you know? Like,
you do.
So many things to see and so many things to do, and I always do as much as I can. I think that...
well, let's go the rest of the year.
The rest of the year? Yeah. Oh, God, I have so much. The rest of the year is already planned out for me. It's from racing. I'm hosting at a huge first ever women's only event in Sturgis, South Dakota. I signed a 5-year contract to do that.
A 5-year contract?
Yeah, at the
Holy
Buffalo
shit.
Chip. It's 700,000 people go to Sturgis Motorcycle Rally every year. It's the largest motorcycle rally in the world.
I didn't know it was that big.
Yeah, it's huge.
Holy shit.
This year they're doing 9 types of racing at the Buffalo Chip, from the AMA Pro Racing, the hooligan racing, drag racing. We have it all. And
that's awesome.
Concerts, gun range, you name it, it's there.
So that's kind of where your life's going for the next 5 or so years?
I'll always host that event for 5 years, but journalism, writing, I love using my brain.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
You're like really getting into journalism.
Yeah, I've always written, but never did it professionally, I guess is what you could say, and I still have a hard time saying that I do that because I get paid for it. That's how I actually make my money. Is
so
writing.
You're a journalist.
Yeah, I write, and I write and ride, and I cover for traveling and motorcycling, and so I'll probably constantly do that and just ride motorcycles forever as long as I can. Work in it, whether it be hosting events or having events,
or just being a part of it.
Yeah, just being a part of it. So that's what I've got for the rest of the year planned out. A few other things that always happens last minute.
The next 5 years, it sounds like.
Yeah, next 5 years. Host this big event at Sturgis. Trying to make the rallies cool again. It's a core demographic, a lot of older people, and we need to bring the young ones out there and see what it has to offer. The Black Hills is some of the best places I've ever ridden.
Black Hills, is that in Pennsylvania? Where is the Black Hills?
South Dakota.
South Dakota.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what am I talking about?
One of the few places out there that we haven't commercialized,
Yeah.
So if we get into motorcycling for adventure and the experience, and you really can find it at some of these rallies, and I just want to make people realize that. You can go race and then go ride and camp and go to a concert. Your first concert, real concert.
Second,
we have 14 days of them.
That's cool.
It's a huge festival. There you go. You're invited. It's women's only, so you got to wear a wig. You got to have a vagina. But you said you kind of tried to say you did.
Well, I could pull it off. Get a wig, like you said. I'm kind of skinny for a dude.
There you go.
I'll work it out.
I'll loan you some clothes.
Right on.